Approximately, in Division 5, we'll probably have close to 350 trucks on the road and operators on the road. These are all hands on deck. So normally our signal techs out taking and helping us clear our roadways. We also have a very robust contract operation. Here we actually have contracts salt brine that's helping our DOT salt brining operations. We don't get the volume of snow and ice events that some areas see, so we rely on a lot of help outside of DOT as well.
How effective is the salt brine this far from the event itself? I mean, 72 hours, is it going to be effective in a couple of days for these first roads that you're applying it to?
Sure, it'll be effective, but over time it diminishes. You get tires running over it, so there won't be as much of a concentration there as if we were able to do it immediately before the event. That's why we're starting on some of our lower volume primary routes, and then tomorrow and the next day we'll be focusing more on the interstate system where we have the higher speeds and the higher volumes.
I know you said you've added 80 miles. About how many miles are you guys responsible for in the Triangle area?
We are responsible for close to 15,000 lane miles in the Division 5.
15,000?
15,000 lane miles.
And can you talk a little bit, obviously in North Carolina, we never know if we're going to get snow, if we're going to get ice, or if we're going to get freezing rain. Does the type of precipitation change your response and how?
Yeah, we definitely are watching the forecast. The type of precipitation does impact us as well as the weather. In this particular event, we're cold going in, so we're doing brine out in advance. The amount of precipitation, if we get 1 to 3 inches, it's going to be a similar response. It'll just take us a little longer on the back end for it to either be pushed off or melt off, the more precipitation we get. The bigger challenge is if we get freezing rain. With freezing rain and also colder temperatures going in, the snow and the ice will actually bond to the pavement structure. And when that happens, it's a tough day for everybody. And it takes a lot longer to be able to get everything reopened and safe.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, but what are your supplies looking like given we've had some more milder winters the past few seasons?
Can you say that again?
What's your supply and salt brine looking like given the fact we've had a little more milder winters the past few seasons?
Well, we're fortunate in this storm being a little further south than the last storm that just came across. If you go up into Virginia, they put a lot of material out. We're fully stocked. We're ready to go. So yeah, we're coming in this one strong.
And has like any of the past seasons influence like we don't have now for this winter, or how far out advance is that planned out?
At the end of every season, we make sure that all our salt facilities are full, so that we start out strong every year.
Any idea how many tons of salt you guys have on the field?
We generally in this area we'll have close to 14,000 tons of salt ready to go. Don't hold me to that number specifically, but approximately 14,000 tons, and we have the ability to manufacture salt brine at a pretty rapid rate. Here, we call this Brine Mountain, where we have one of our larger salt storage facilities in the Wake County, Durham County area. We actually have 2 salt brine plants here that can produce 320 gallons a minute of brine. So we keep up with, we can put it out, we put it out slower than we can actually manufacture it.
I think there's a trope from the north that when there's a couple of inches of snow in the south, things go crazy. That people forget how to drive, and it's mayhem for just a couple of inches of snow. When you hear that, do you find that as like a challenge? What do you say to folks that think they can do snow better than you can?
We can do snow and ice as good as anybody can. The trick of it is a lot of our folks just don't have the experience that you do when you grow up in it or when you experience it every day. We're looking at 1,000 days since our last snow event. And in that time, we have a lot of new drivers to the area and young drivers, and this will be their first time in it. So everybody just needs to be patient, and we'll get through this.
What do you tell drivers, especially when you've got plows on the road, you've got equipment on the road? How far do people need to stay back, avoid them, things like that?
So whenever we're doing our site brine operations, we're often spraying 2 lanes at once, particularly on our interstates where we have 3 and 4 lanes out there. Give us a wide berth, stay back off us. if you come up on a salt truck and you get too close, you're going to get some salt on your truck as well as on your windshield, which makes your visibility limited. So just give us a wide berth, and please be patient as we go out. We were able to stay out of the morning rush hour today, but tonight we'll be in rush hour trying to get as much coverage as we can in advance of the storm.
Anything else important?
Lots of important.
Did you say y'all gonna start laying it down tonight?
We started applying the salt brine earlier this morning, probably within the last hour. And we will go until the temperatures drop into the mid-20s, and then we'll be back preparing for tomorrow. Again, we'll be waiting in the morning for the temperatures to come back up before we head back out. We're thinking probably 9, 10 until we see temperatures. They're calling for it to be in the low 20s, high teens tonight. It's pretty cold. We use pavement temperature monitors to be able to see where we're at, the temperature before we go out.
The big tankers here behind you, is that where the brine is?
Yeah, we have a series of different types of brine applicators. What you're seeing here are our 49s. They have some of the higher capacity. We'll focus them primarily on our multi-lane routes where we'll be able to spray across 2 lanes. And then we have smaller in-body tanks in our dump trucks. We use those more on the 2-lane or smaller volume primary routes. So NCDOT has Drive NC. That's a great place to go for up-to-date both weather, hurricanes, snow and ice, and routine construction issues or maintenance operations. We can try to put all that into that one location. Great resource as you're making a decision whether to go out or not. And also listen to your local news. You guys are always on the spot, keeping everybody informed.
When do operations shift from prep to dealing with the snow?
Sure, we plan to be running brine up until the afternoon of Friday. Some of our trucks that are our dump trucks that have our in-body tankers, we'll start pulling those out actually on Friday in preparation for the event, loading them up so that when we start seeing the snow hit the ground, we're ready to go.